Buongiorno a tutti! Buonasera, sono fuori fuoco. Ciao a tutti, come state? Benvenuti? Mi sentite e mi vedete? Allora, vedo già molti studenti, moltissima gente, belli, tutti belli. Ciao a tutti, ciao a tutti. Allora, just a little bit of getting ready. You will, if you're watching this on Italy Media Academy, reload the page and you should be able to see me now. But there's no point telling you because if you can't see me anyway. And if you're on YouTube, ciao, benvenuti a tutti. So, here to help you. Learn Italian, understand the things that have been confusing you. That is my goal. Information is everywhere, and sometimes it's confusing, and I hope I can help you. So, beginner level meaning keep your questions to topics that you would cover within the first 6 months of learning Italian. So, there is echo. Okay, I know what it is. I think. I know what it is. I don't know what it is. Allora, Just give me a second. Proviamo così. But last time I tried this, everything broke. Is it better? Is there still feedback? C'è ancora eco? Mi sentite? Va meglio? Allora, un attimo, vediamo la chat. Ciao a tutti, vedo tantissime persone. Vi saluto a tutti, ok? Saluto moderatori. Quindi Jackie dice niente eco. Jasper, niente eco. Quindi siamo a posto, siamo a posto. We are all good, siamo a posto. Literally we are at place, in place. Allora, questo è un nuovo setup che sto sperimentando. Non è il massimo, però sono un po' verde. Vedete, sono un po' verde? Questo perché vi faccio vedere il segreto. Aspetta. No, vabbè, non ci preoccupiamo del segreto, ma praticamente possiamo cambiare colore. Questo è il color blu. Ma torniamo a quello di prima, ok? Torniamo al colore di prima. Ci siamo, allora. Let's get started. It's 4:50 p.m. in the East Coast, giusto? Allora, ho visto già alcune domande, so I've already seen a bunch of questions, and if you could please ask them again, because the chat moves very, very fast, okay? And I don't fit in, I don't fit, ok, you can see me? Mi vedete? Allora, qual è la prima domanda? Qual è la prima domanda? Ho visto, Jasper, tu avevi una domanda sulle preposizioni. Now I'll keep this in Italian, so in English. So ask your questions in English. You're a beginner, so it would be foolish for me to explain stuff in Italian, and it would be discouraging for you to ask a very technical question in Italian. So we use English. It's the best way to learn Italian to a point where then you don't need to use English anymore. When it comes to learning the details of the grammar and the things like that. So I don't want to waste your time. John Fatica, are we starting over? What do you mean? I know you, John, you had a question, but it's too far behind in the chat and I can't see it, okay? As you can see, the chat moves very fast. So I'm going to start with Jim. Can you explain why lo so is used and I don't understand the law? Okay, so what I would suggest you do is whenever I start answering a question, do not ask more questions because they keep moving very fast. I don't know how many of you are here, but probably a lot. How many? there's 160 people, so so yeah, stop the questions once I start answering, ok? La prima domanda è la domanda di Jim. Can you explain why lo so is used? I don't understand the law. I'm going to tell you a couple of things, John and everybody. So, lo so, that law means it. So it's it. So when we say lo so, we're actually saying I know it. And it doesn't make sense from an English point of view because in English we just say I know. But you could say I know that. So imagine that law is that. So I know that. Sai a che ora parte il treno? Non lo so. I don't know it. I don't know that. So yeah, look at that law as a that, because in English you'd say that. But the second thing that I want to say, although we're using English to explain the things, we don't want to justify everything in Italian with everything in English because it's not going to work a lot of the time. And so you're better off using lo so or non lo so because you hear it. And I know your question is, I don't understand why it's there, so I'm explaining it. But just as a general tip for learning Italian is, it's best if you don't try to really understand every bit because it won't make sense all the time. Just start using it. Ok, buonasera a tutti. Siamo qui, live Q&A in English to help you with your beginner Italian. I'm Manu from Italy Made Easy. I haven't said all the basic stuff because I know you know me, but just in case you're joining in now. If you're watching this on the Academy, meaning academyitalymade.easy.com or Italy Made Easy Academy, that means you're one of my students in the group. You should be able to also interact in the chat. And this video is actually open to all of my YouTube subscribers, not just the students, okay? So, because we're all students. Allora, let me go back to a few questions. Melody, basta versus abbastanza. Bella domanda. Okay, basta is more used as a single word to mean enough, stop it. So, your children are misbehaving, you can say basta. Somebody's pouring you water and you don't want more, you say, oh, basta. Basta. So basta is more of I'm going to say an order, it's not really an order, but look at it as a single word that it's used to tell people to stop something. So it means enough, but as a single word. Abbastanza also means enough, meaning it translates with enough, but it's used in a sentence. Per esempio, non ho abbastanza soldi, I don't have enough money. Or, actually, you'll hear people say, ne ho avuto abbastanza, I've had enough. But see, it's the same meaning, yes, but abbastanza is used in a sentence, basically. And it's usually followed by the noun that you had enough or had not enough of what of. So, ho abbastanza libri, I have enough books. So that's the difference. I have to scroll back to find your questions. Salman, Manu, I need help with prepositions, like examples of when to use in, da, and the most common mistakes. Yes, actually I saw that Jasper had a question about prepositions. I don't know if you can post it again. Prepositions, very tricky. So as a beginner, you don't have to get them right all the time. Also, because there are advanced students who don't get them right all the time. I don't get them right in English all the time. So yeah, prepositions are pretty tricky. Hold the questions because I'm answering one. The thing with prepositions, okay, so we tend to look at prepositions as the main ones. This actually I find confusing myself in Italian grammar. We said that the prepositions are 7, I think, but then there's so many more. But so the way I go with prepositions, we look at di, a, da, in, con, su, per, tra, fra, so 9. But tra and fra are the same, so 8. So that's what we consider to be the main prepositions. And I can't cover everything right now, but I can give you tips on how to get them right. And so, start with the ones that are always like an easy match with English. So, in is usually in English. Con means with. Per is for. Tra or fra means between, amongst, but it's also used with time reference, for example, ci vediamo fra 5 minuti, which in English we use in, so I'll see you in 5 minutes. In Italian is I'll see you between 5 minutes, okay? So little differences. And then you've got the tricky ones, okay? So da means from. And as when it means from in English, you can use da and it's going to be right all the time, almost all the time. The problem with Italian da is that it overlaps with Italian in and Italian a. Mostly with verbs of movement. Because in Italian we can go, andare, a, da, or in. And that's a whole big monster. And so for now, try and stick to the basic meaning. And so a means at or to, but often it means in English. So for example, io vado a Roma, I'm going to Rome. Io sono alla biblioteca, I'm at the library. So in those cases, a is the right one, okay? But yeah, to really help you, I would say go and look up information on verbs of movement with the prepositions, because that's when it gets really confusing. The other ones are just little usages, so you'll get used to them. Okay, a bunch of questions I see. Ciao a tutti, buonasera a tutti. Allora. Rebecca, potresti spiegarci il congiuntivo e i pronomi doppi? Rebecca, sì, ma non oggi. This lesson is for beginners, and the congiuntivo e i pronomi doppi, they're very, very advanced. So we're not going to do that today. But, okay, un annuncio. Here's my announcement. I'm all over the place, Anna. My announcement is this. I'm planning to go live 3 times a week. And so usually it'll be on Monday, but I didn't have time to notify you, so I'm here like live on Tuesday. But it's actually, is it? Yeah, it's still Monday in the rest of the world. That's what I meant. So, but yeah, usually it will be on Sunday. That's what I meant. So I'll be going live 3 times a week. One is going to be a Q&A for beginners, so I'll be answering your questions in English. There's going to be a second Q&A for intermediate, again with more help. And then there's going to be a conversation in Italian and an interaction with you in Italian. So I'll try to do this every week, for a few weeks, no, not forever, okay? Because I've been missing you. I'm so busy with the academy that I've been neglecting you on YouTube. Okay. Norhan, è necessario studiare il passato remoto? È un po' difficile. Ok, passato remoto, now, as a beginner, definitely not. As an intermediate student, definitely not. As an advanced student, as in, my definition of advanced is very different from what you would call advanced. Just because you've studied Italian for 3 years doesn't make you advanced. Advanced means that you can basically speak about everything and understand everything, with exceptions of things that are just too specific or too slangy, okay? So if you're advanced, so you can express yourself in any situation and you understand basically everything in real conversation, not on TV, then you would have to worry about the passato remoto. Allora, subjunctive Zaza, it's coming up. Whenever we do this for advanced students, then we can tackle that. Annika, potresti spiegare, and I'm really sorry that you can't see the question. I'm trying to find a way to bring up the question when I answer it, but right now I don't have the technology. So Annika, potresti spiegare il significato di invece? It's very confusing. But instead, actually, on the other hand, however. Well, Annika, you actually said it all. Invece has all those meanings. And so, going back to what I was telling John, I think, sometimes it's very counterproductive to try and really get the meaning of something when the word is definitely doesn't have a one-to-one translation, and it's very difficult. Like, invece, it's best for you to pay attention. Every time you hear invece, make a note of when it was used. And then try and get a sense of when Italians are using it. Because yes, you're totally right. Invece means on the other hand. Okay? But oftentimes, it means instead. Per esempio, prendo la pasta invece della pizza. So instead of, like in place of. I would say that the more common the most common translation of invece would be in fact. So the English in fact, whenever you say in fact, which is somebody, you make a statement, but then you say, but actually, something a little bit different. So that, in fact, that's what renders the infatti the most, okay? I'm terrible with examples on the fly, so I'm not going to make them because they're not going to be very natural. Allora, Tej o Tei, il monk, sto preparando la mia tesina in italiano e vorrei qualche consiglio per favore. So, Tej o Tei, you're preparing your thesis, your project in Italian. Bravissima, complimenti. You want some tips. Well, I don't know what tips, as in, come back to me when we address this for advanced students, because obviously you're probably an advanced student. And we can, if you have specific questions, yeah, definitely help you. Buongiorno a tutti, buonasera, buonasera. Allora, Alam Jan, how to make sentences question and negative? That's a good question. That's a good question for a beginner level. I know there's been a million more questions, but I'm still looking at the ones in the past, okay? Piano, 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 piano. We'll get it all done, or mostly. So, now there is I'm not actually promoting this, but there is a way, it's called Super Chat, and it's at the bottom of the chat, and basically YouTube allows you to make a donation, which I'm not asking, but what that does is it puts your question at the top and it keeps it there. And I'm not asking you to do it. Like I'll try and respond to everybody, but if you really want an answer, maybe that's gonna help you get it up there and be seen. Okay, so what was I talking about? Allora. I forgot my question. Allora, I'll find it. Oh, yes. Negative questions. Negative questions in Italian, it's fairly easy. The basic negative question is we put non before two options. Right before the conjugated verb. For example, parlo italiano, I speak Italian. Non parlo italiano, I don't speak Italian. Prendo un caffè, I'll have a coffee. Non prendo un caffè, I will not have a coffee. So that's the basic idea of, you put the non right before the verb. But careful, often in Italian there's a pronoun before the verb. For example, ti parlo, I'm speaking to you. Non ti parlo. So in that case, the non goes before the pronoun. This is a very common mistake with the idea of when we're using piacere, to like. Mi piace, I like. Non mi piace, I don't like. Okay. So yeah, we want to put the non before the conjugated verb, or if there is a pronoun, before the pronoun. And for question, usually I'll tell you the quick trick. You will put the question word like dove, come, quando, perché, those question words, follow usually by the verb. Quindi, quando arriva Marco? With this confuses English speakers because in English you say, when does Marco arrive? Or get here. But in Italian it's question word, verb, and everything else. So, quando arriva Marco? So you got question word quando, and then the verb, arriva, arrives. So that's something a little bit tricky for English speakers. I know, other languages as well, but... Allora. Noran, passato prossimo imperfetto, that's a little bit more intermediate, so we can talk about that in the next live stream where we talk about intermediate topics. Jim, thanks for answering my question. That makes perfect sense. Per fortuna, luckily. Okay. Stella, can we also say vorrei mangiare instead of mangerei? Well, look, the conditional is a little bit of a more intermediate level, but basically, yes, they have different meanings. Let me see if I can pull up my whiteboard. Oh, well, my pink board. Okay. So if you say vorrei Am I typing? No, I'm not typing, right? Okay. Oh. Okay. It's a little tricky because my monitor is covering everything. My microphone is covering everything. Vorrei mangiare e mangerei. Now, this is a bit intermediate, but they have different meanings. They're both using the conditional tense, but vorrei mangiare means I would like to eat, and mangerei is I would eat. They actually have different usages, right? When you think about it. But yeah, you can use either one, depending on whatever works. Okay, back to us. Please don't tell me that I've lost the chat. Okay, good. Allora. Chris, how much is Italy Medici? Well, this is the confusing part, guys. So, of course, I'm on YouTube, and that's for everybody. I also have my academy that we are building, and it's a lot of work. And the academy, you can join as a free member. And right now you don't get a lot because I haven't started my free courses, but soon there will be free courses. And you also get notified, you actually get to know when these things are happening. When these live shows, there's a calendar, and as a free member, you can actually look at the calendar. And so, right now I'm not talking about the academy much because I don't feel it's quite ready, but of course you can join anytime. Now, how much is it? There's two elements. You can enroll in a course, then I have course at all different fees. The best one is any course from 0 to Italian series because it's an ongoing course that really covers everything and gets you speaking and understanding. But then, and that's, I can't remember how much it is. And then we have a membership that allows you to actually speak to native Italian speakers and join exclusive webinars. But yeah, the best part is that you can actually video chat with Italians every day. We do one-on-one and we do groups, which we actually, right now, we are not, we stopped for a technical reason. But yeah, we do, you can talk to Italians, type, voice, or video chat any day. And sometimes I'm there as well. But I'm quite busy, so I'm not always there. And that's, right now it's only $48 a year. So for $4 a month, you get to speak to Italians. And of course, that's not the final price. It's just the getting things sorted price. So yeah, that's at theacademy.italymedia.com. Allora, ciao a tutti. Rebecca, congiuntivo e pronomi doppi, coming up when we cover this in an advanced lesson. Ali, qual è la differenza tra malata e sono ammalata? Okay, malata means sick for feminine, and it's an adjective. And sono ammalata means I am sick for a woman. So I don't see a difference. I mean, one has a verb, which means it's a full sentence. Sono malata or sono ammalata. You can say the same, okay? Sono malata, sono ammalata. Yeah, same meaning, basically, in terms of the word. Malata or ammalata. Allora, Chris, piano piano. You have given us many uses of piano. Could you go over the colloquial uses? Okay. Colloquial uses. Okay, piano. Piano, P-I-A-N. I like piano. Okay. Piano, it's not used to mean piano because we call that pianoforte. So it's not really used for that. I know there's a million more messages, but I'm still looking at the ones before, okay? Allora, piano has three main meanings, I think. One, as a noun, it means floor. Terzo piano, secondo piano, primo piano, that's floor. That's not confusing because it's a physical object, so it can't be confusing. If you're talking about a floor, you're going to say piano. Easy. The problem with piano is that it means both slow or slowly, so it's an adverb as well. But it also means low or lowly. I don't know if that word. But basically, so piano, per esempio, io cammino piano, I walk slowly. Io parlo piano. Now, a better word would be lentamente. Lentamente. But when we speak, of course, we're not going to use long and difficult words, so we will say piano when we speak. Okay. So, lentamente is slowly, but we're going to use piano in conversation. So, parlo piano. Per favore, parli piano. Please speak slowly. Piano, in Italian, it's the same meaning. That's the thing. Like, it's in English that we have different words, but for an Italian, there's no difference. But parlare piano can also mean speak at a lower voice. Okay, quindi low voice. That's the other meaning that I think you might be hearing. Noemi, prima volta che guardi dal vivo dalla California. First time you're watching this live from California. Buonasera. Buon pomeriggio. Brandon, what's the difference between vacca and mucca? They're basically the same, yes. We tend to use mucca. Vacca, it sounds more insulting, if that makes sense. So, I mean, it's often used actually to insult a woman, which is horrible, but, and I think vacca is just, it sounds very, very bad. But then we have the word like vaccino, like vaccine, comes from vacca. So I'm not saying that it's a bad word, okay? But we tend to use mucca a lot more commonly. Vacca is more when we are dismissing the cow, basically. Jasper, I got your question. Okay, I have a request. You're always confused about this. La camera da letto. Coppola di Garibaldi, pronunciazione del posto, io abito a Milano. Okay, let me just copy this. And please hold your questions, because I'll try and put it on my whiteboard. And of course it didn't work, okay. So I'm not going to put it on my whiteboard, sorry. Okay. Allora, Jasper, what's confusing you is the fact that it's a bit complicated, but okay, la camera da letto, that's the bedroom. When you look at the da, you say, but why am I using da? That's because English can do something really cool that in Italian we cannot do, and we can use a noun in English as an adjective. When you say bedroom, bed is a noun and room is a noun. In Italian we can't do that. So in Italian it's a room that has the bed. Okay, so that's when you will find da in Italian. Actually, I think I may have covered it recently, but actually I'll make a video of this, okay, soon, because I realize it's confusing. But camera da letto, abito da sera, evening dress. Again, evening is a noun and dress is a noun in English, but in Italian we can't say vestito sera. We have to put something in between, and it's usually da. Coppola di Garibaldi, that simply means of. So that basically specifies the possession. La coppola di Garibaldi, it's something that belonged to Garibaldi. So basically this corresponds often to the English apostrophe S. Michael's book, il libro di Michael. So that's the D. Prenotazione del posto, booking of the seat. That is because we're using of, because even in English you would say of. It's the booking of something. I know it doesn't sound that good in English, but it becomes del because we're combining of, which is di in Italian, with il, which is the article of the thing that follows. For example, let me see if there's something that we all know. Is that an expression that we all know? I don't know. Per esempio, del. Oh, okay, let me say something. I'll make something up. Il libro del bambino. It's the book of the child. Now, in English, you might say the child's book. But once you know that you can't do that in Italian, you have to kind of unwrap the sentence and say the book of. But then you see in English, you say of the child. You wouldn't say the book of child. That's what's happening in Italian. That del is the combination of and the. And that's a bit complicated, I know. Belle domande, sì, Micia, belle domande, sì. And I realized that we've been already here for almost half an hour, and I have a call coming up very soon. Okay. Let me see if I can find something. I know you asked so many questions, but my plan was not to be here for an hour. Okay. Derek, that's a good question. Confusion between tu and lei. So when you're addressing a friend or a child or a family member, you will address them as tu. Any other time, you will address people with lei. So, I mean, I'm assuming you're an adult. So as an adult, you will talk to other strangers or other adults, even if you know them, but they're not friends, as lei. Of course, it depends on your age, but lei is the formal. So when you use tu, you don't have to say the word tu, but your verb has to be conjugated for tu. For example, parli italiano, tu parli italiano, because I'm talking to tu. But if I was formal to you, then I would have to say lei, but my verb would have to be the verb for the third person. So the same verb for lei and lui, for he and she, or for she and he. So lei parla italiano. You, sir, you, ma'am, speak Italian. So that's the difference. Basically, it's, formal and informal. Anita, allora e quindi, they're often just the same meaning, okay? They just means so. Quindi has the extra meaning of therefore. So you might hear it, for example, mi piace la pizza, quindi stasera vado in pizzeria. Like, I like pizza, quindi tonight I'm going to the pizzeria. So it's like, and therefore, whereas allora tends to mean so, then, as in then, what are we doing? So, what are we doing? So it's often they're used the same way, but quindi has the meaning of therefore. Ariola, ma dove sei stato? Where have I been? Working really hard on the academy. I want to get it ready for everybody so everybody can join. Joy, can you simplify when to choose the words like molto, tanto, così, and other options that correspond to the English words vary? Okay. Ooh, this is big. Okay. So, molto has to be I don't know how to make it. Okay, let's do this. We've been here for quite a while, so I'm so sorry I can't answer everybody. So if you're a member of the academy, you can actually submit your questions, and then I'll record answers and I'll publish them. But for YouTube, let's leave stuff for tomorrow. Okay, I'll be back tomorrow and maybe the next day. I'll try to say, like I said, 3 times a week. But yeah. Let me see. Maybe there's one. Darren, it appears that unlike Spanish, Italian doesn't begin nouns with the letter H. Is there a rule of thumb? Yes. No Italian word starts with H. So if there is an Italian word that has H, it's because it's a borrowed word, like from English, like hotel. But we don't pronounce it. So it's spelled hotel with a H, but we still say hotel. So yeah, there are no Italian words with the H. The only exception is the verb avere, which when conjugated in the present tense, some versions have the H, but we still don't pronounce it. We say io ho una sorella. I have a sister. We still don't say io ho. Actually, I hear that often. Do not say io ho too high, okay? There is no H, don't pronounce it. Okay. Grazie mille a tutti. I just love being here, and this setup that makes my skin green, it's beautiful, right? And yeah, I will be back tomorrow. I don't know what time. Just sign up for the academy for free, and there'll be an event coming up, okay? A bit later than today, that's for sure. Now, I really have to go because I'm interviewing 2 people to join the academy, 2 Italians, to provide more chat opportunity for my students of the academy. So you can actually, chat is gone. Okay. Oh, well. That's it. Chat is gone. Allora, yes. So I'm interviewing 2 new Italians to have more opportunity for academy students to talk to Italians and practice your Italian every day. Grazie mille. I was reading Monica. We love having you. I love you. Vi voglio un mondo di bene. A world of love. Grazie a tutti per la compagnia. Ci vediamo domani per un altro Q&A per un livello superiore, quindi intermedio, okay? So tomorrow is about intermediate level, still in English, because please understand that there is no point trying to use, because I know you want to hear Italian, and my job is to speak as much Italian as possible in my videos, but not when you have to learn something. You're wasting your time if you're trying to learn grammar in Italian because you're struggling already to understand the language. So the third live that we do, it's going to be in Italian, and it's conversation. We are not going to talk about grammar. We're just going to chit-chat, and that's going to be in Italian, and it's the third live of this week. But yeah, bring your questions tomorrow, a little bit later than today, for a more intermediate level, and I will help you with that. And hopefully I get my technology sorted so that I can actually show the question that I'm answering, because that would really help. Grazie mille a tutti, un bacione, e ci vediamo domani. Ciao ciao, un bacio.